everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Bookmas in the Literature with Lydia podcast. My name is Lydia, and I'm so excited to have you here today for this episode. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking with you about a lot of different bookish topics. Now, I do episodes like this every once in a while on the podcast. I call them bookish babbles because essentially I'll be talking about a lot of different book-related things. There's no one specific topic, and so I'm babbling. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is just my reading year in general for 2025. I feel like it was such a good one, even though it was a lot different than some of my most recent ones. Last year I read over 120 books, and that's the most that I've read. And going into this year, I decided to not have a yearly reading goal. Previously, in the years that I've been reading, I've selected a number of books that I wanted to read for the year. And this year I decided we're just going to read and see what happens. And I think I just reached 80 something the other day. So still like a significant number of books. But I feel like because I didn't have like a specific set goal, I was able to enjoy my reading a lot more and feel kind of like less pressure, which it's silly to feel pressure about something so simple as like a hobby. But I think that within like Bookstagram and BookTube, in those like bookish creator spaces, it can feel, you can feel some pressure to read as much as other people or read the same kinds of books as other people. And that also brings me to my next point, which is that I feel like I tried to stay away kind of from a lot of the books that people were hyping up. Now, I didn't do that 100%. I still definitely was influenced by certain people talking about books. But I think that because I've been reading for so many years now, I really have defined my taste in books. And so even though people might be raving about a certain book, if it's a genre that I don't typically love, I'm going to skip it, which feels self-explanatory. But again, it can feel so easy to just jump on the hype train when people are tending to love a book. And so I think that that's something that made this year a lot better quality-wise for my own taste in reading. Along with not having a yearly like reading goal for a set number, I also decided to stay away from like monthly or seasonal TBRs. I still will talk about books that I want to read, and specifically when the seasons come around, different ones that are interesting to me. But in previous years, I have actually like come up with a seasonal TBR and then tried to actually read all of those books in that season. It rarely happened, and it also, again, just added some unnecessary pressure to my reading life. And reading is supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to be something that, helps you kind of escape a lot of the time. And so taking away that external pressure, or even just like internal, because no one else was pressuring me, has made 2025 a successful year of reading for me. Another thing that I had to kind of like reason with myself about with reading this year is that it's okay to read audiobooks. And I don't know why that was something I kind of had to convince myself about, because I love listening to audiobooks. Last year, the majority of the books that I read, like at least more than 50% of the books that I read were done through audiobook. And this year I decided that I wanted to kind of like slow down a little bit, be more intentional, and read like physical or digital copies. And that ended up making it so that I wasn't reading as much at certain times of the year. And I don't know why that's something that I did, because I love audiobooks. Again, last year I really dove into them more than years past. And so I don't know why I, again, felt this internal need to like prove that my reading was done like through a physical copy or a digital copy. Because hey, audiobooks count as reading. And I've said this and I believe this. And so I don't know why I felt like I was the exception. And so once I let go of that, I've been able to get a lot more reading done, because the thing is, as you become an adult, as you get full-time jobs, as you are moving and doing all these big life things, reading kind of goes to the side, but audiobooks are a way to be able to still continue reading even when you are so busy. So I don't know if this is something that is beneficial for other people to hear too, but just know audiobooks count as reading. They're not any less, you don't have less worth, or the reads aren't less good just because they're listened to instead of read with your eyes. So anyway, once I let that go, I also was able to focus on a lot more books this year. In addition, I really read a ton of nonfiction. I won't go too much into that because I've talked about Everything's Tuberculosis by John Green too many times already, but that book really was kind of turning a new leaf, if you will, for 2025, and just reading in general, and it opened up a whole new genre of reading for me that I'm actually finding really interesting, and that's been really fun too. I feel like once you understand your taste in reading, it's less likely that you'll read a new book from a different genre than you're used to. And so to be able to be so many years into my reading journey and still finding new genres, new types of books that I'm enjoying is really special. Although I did not have a yearly reading goal, I still made a list of books that I wanted to read for the year. And in previous years, I've done 24 books in 2024, 25 books in 2025, and that's what I did this year. I currently have 7 books left, and when you're watching this, there are only about 9 days left of the year, maybe 10. And so I have a bit of reading to do to catch up on this goal. However, I am a teacher and I am on winter break. So I have the next 2 whole weeks to be able to finish them. Again, the goal would be to finish them by December 31st. If I don't, it's okay. But it is the one list of books that I was really hoping to be able to finish this year. And I curated, in my opinion, such a good list of books that I felt I would really enjoy. Of the ones that I have read, many of them have been 5-star reads and have become some of my new favorites. And so I'm happy with the list that I created, and I'm hopeful that these last 7 books that I have will also be enjoyable too. The most exciting thing that I could possibly talk about is how People We Meet on Vacation is becoming a movie, and it comes out on January 9th. That is so soon, and I'm thrilled to be able to watch it on the screen in a matter of weeks. That also means that I get to reread People We Meet on Vacation soon. When I say get to, you're probably like, hey, Lydia, you can reread a book whenever you want, and you're so right about that. But I try to only read books once a year. Otherwise, I'm afraid that I would only ever reread books, and I would get desensitized to the emotions behind them or the feelings that I get when I read these books that I love. But People We Meet on Vacation is becoming a movie. I've heard such good things from the people who have seen the premiere in person, which I am so jealous of. But I plan on doing an entire People We Meet on Vacation themed episode. I'm thinking about still doing it in video format, which we'll get into again in just a moment here, but I am so excited. Simultaneously, I'm so nervous. I feel like I am pretty good at separating adaptations in my head. I know that they're kind of 2 different forms of art, and so I know that the movie is not going to be exactly like the book, and that's okay. It's an adaptation for a reason. It's not taking People We Meet on Vacation as a script, but I'm really hoping that the heart is still there and the reasons that I love the book are still evident and present in the movie. And so I'm nervous, but I'm also excited. And I love how much Emily has had a part in the creation of the movie. And so I trust her. I trust Emily Henry. so much. And so I think it'll be a good experience, but that is so soon, and I can't wait. The last thing to talk about in today's Bookish Babbles episode, and this episode of Bookmas, is the state of the podcast. And during Bookmas, I did all of the episodes as video as well. I don't feel mentally prepared to turn the podcast fully into a video podcast, but I have really enjoyed it, and it's been a really fun creative outlet for me because it's a new medium that I'm not used to creating on. I think something that feels feasible for me is to make one episode a month be a video format. And so that is my plan. I recommend following me on Instagram because I think that monthly I will share the episodes that I have planned to come out, and then I will let my followers choose which one will be in video format so that hopefully the ones that people want to see as a video are coming out as a video. But if you enjoyed watching Bookmas rather than just listening to it, please let me know, because that will be further incentive to continue doing more videos in the future. And again, hopefully this could be something that it's always a video podcast. It's been really fun. I loved, especially with Bookmas, like recording in front of my tree every time, and like I don't know, trying to match the theme with like the shirts that I was wearing. And so I would love to continue doing so, but let me know what you think, because that has a big part to play in the decisions that I make for the podcast. So anyway, thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a lot of me just rambling, but I will catch you in the